Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Office Podcast. I am your host, Hassan. Now, I introduced a new concept to the podcast last episode, and that was this quote a day book, which my lovely wife purchased for me. And now the tradition on these episodes is to open it up on a random page and read a quote and try and figure out what episode it's from. So the first one I got right. I'm going to just go through it randomly. Right, I've got another quote open here. Shall I read the left or the right? I'm going to go for the right quote. And it goes like this. It is not a good time for me to lose my job since I have some pretty big long-term plans in my personal life with Pam that I'd like her parents to be psyched about. So I'm about to do something very bold in this job that I've never done before. Try. I believe this is from the episode where Ryan threatens Jim because I think he's underperforming or something when Ryan is the new Jan, and I think it's the one where he goes to the golf course with that guy and tries to get his business. Boom! I think that's right. Can someone fact check that for me? Because I think that's the right quote from the right episode. Anyway, I have to reveal something that I'm very ashamed of on this podcast, and that is I don't think I've seen a single deleted scene from The Office. I keep forgetting to watch them. There's even been episodes where I think for some reason on Netflix, they don't show you the full episode. But on Comedy Central here in the UK, I'll be watching an episode and there's a scene from an episode that I really enjoy, but I don't remember it. And that's because apparently there's extended versions and deleted scenes and I was not aware. But I would like to talk about one of those deleted scenes today, and a theory that links to one of the characters. Now, the character that I'd like to mention is Bob Vance, Vance Refrigerations. I'd like to talk about him today, and that is because the episode that I'm referring to, the deleted scene, that I'm referring to, is the one where Phyllis admits to Bob and her being on safari and them running over someone, and I believe killing them, and then flying back to the US. So the reason why I want to talk about Bob and that specific deleted scene is because any normal person would hand themselves into the authority. It was an accident, we killed someone, we gotta go. But Bob didn't do that. They both made their way back to the US. And the reason I believe this is the case is because Bob is actually a mobster. Yes, I know I've mentioned mobsters on this episode before, on this podcast before, but I believe that Bob is definitely a mob boss or a mobster. And here's the evidence. So number one, as I just mentioned, that they ran someone over, they left them there for dead and came back to the US. The second one is that Bob works for a refrigeration company. Now, my theory and a couple of theories online is that obviously they use fridges to dispose of the bodies, keep the bodies cold, and then they dispose of them. A fridge company, or a refrigeration company, should I say, would have the facilities to get rid of bodies, keep them on ice, and then get rid of them. So that's piece of evidence number two. Number three is a bit of a suspicious one, and that is the influence that Bob had, because every time something wasn't going right for Phyllis, she would use Bob as a threat, and people were visibly scared of Bob being involved. So I think everyone must have known that Bob definitely had a dark side to him, that he was definitely connected and could make people disappear or get them whacked. And I think that because with Bob advertising his company constantly and making sure he says the full title or what his full title is, I think he's trying to take away from the fact that he's a mobster and a very dangerous man. So him seeming like the enthusiastic business owner trying to plug his business every chance he gets throws off the fact that he's actually a mobster, and that's a front for his business. Because I don't remember an episode where I saw Bob actually working. He seems to be in episodes here and there. He's got a mob look about him as well. You know, he's a large gentleman. He's clean shaven. He's got the attire to go for it. He's very smartly dressed whenever we see him. And another key point is that when Dunder Mifflin Scranton was going under and Josh's branch was the only one that was going to stay open, Bob managed to purchase the whole of the warehouse and keep all the warehouse workers on. Now, yes, as a business owner, that's not a problem. But why would you want to keep the whole of the warehouse? Why would you want to buy it to make sure no one else uses it or takes it? And now my theory is that he was probably hiding bodies in there, or was hiding incriminating evidence that he didn't want newbies to see. So I think the warehouse people from Dunder Mifflin were oblivious. Even if they knew or were connected, they were oblivious. They never really did any work. They just did their own thing and got on with it. Now, if someone competent came along, purchased a warehouse, and started snooping around and seeing what was what, then Bob's secret would no longer be a secret. So I think that for that reason and those reasons, Bob is a mobster. He's connected. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of influence. He owns a company. And not just because he owns a company, but he owns a very suspicious business. Why would he be feared if he just owns a refrigeration company? He's not really an intimidating man. Like, if you look at him, you think teddy bear, right? You think Kevin, teddy bear. You don't think, dangerous looking mobster man. But I think people knew deep down. And going on to one of my other theories that I mentioned on this podcast about Kevin embezzling money and laundering money for businesses, I think that Bob and Kevin are actually in cahoots with one another, and that Kevin is actually laundering money for the mob being Bob and his whole organization. Now, is this far-fetched? I don't think so. I think there's something behind this theory, and I would love for you all to get involved. So if you could leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section below, that would be absolutely amazing. I'd love to hear from you all. I'd love to get some more engagement in the comment section below so I can answer some of your questions and maybe talk through some of your theories. Also, I've provided an email address below as well. So if you have any questions for me, any questions about any specific episodes or anything that I liked or disliked about the show, please do send them through. It would really mean a lot to me. As I said, I love making these episodes. I love The Office. I watch it every single day. As I say in every single episode, I really do. I really love this show, and I'd love for this podcast to go further. I'd love to one day speaking with guests on this show, not particularly from the show, but other people who love the show, to get them on, to have a back and forth about this show, because I really, really do love this show. That is the episode today. Thank you very much for listening or for watching if you're watching on YouTube. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Take care.